Look at this perfectly preserved slice of 1776. Visitors come to Independence National Historical Park to walk through a pristine, untouched colonial landscape. But this immaculate 18th century view is a mid-century invention. City planners carefully designed and manufactured this specific reality in the 1950s. To create this continuous colonial zone, they cleared out anything that didn't fit the script. They actively bulldozed dozens of actual historic structures standing in the way of their empty lawn. One of those casualties happened to be an architectural marvel. Planners traded a critical piece of American engineering history for a patch of grass. America's founding site is also an architectural crime. They erased the physical birth of the modern city to build a colonial fantasy. Go back to Philadelphia in 1850. The city was a dense commercial hub, but it was physically trapped near the ground. Heavy brick and stone masonry meant builders could only go so high before the walls would collapse under their own weight. Then, architect William Strickland dropped a monolith onto Chestnut Street. The Jayne Building rose 8 stories high, towering over every other commercial structure in the city. This structural comparison shows exactly how he did it. The thick stone on the left struggles to support heavy heights. Strickland solved this by using a slender, load-bearing iron frame. This internal metal skeleton carried the stress of the massive structure, allowing the walls to stretch upward safely. This engineering leap makes the Jayne Building the evolutionary ancestor of the modern American skyline. It proved internal iron frames worked decades before Chicago and New York became famous for their skyscrapers. For a merchant walking down the street in 1850, this structure proved that cities were going to break free of the ground. They were going to build upward. And it stood there for over a century. The Jayne Building watched horse-drawn wagons give way to automobiles. It survived the Civil War and outlasted the entire Industrial Revolution. By the 1950s, urban planners received a mandate to expand Independence Park. Their goal was to enforce a strict, uniform Revolutionary-era aesthetic on the entire surrounding neighborhood. Architectural historians begged the city to protect the Jayne Building. They pointed out its status as a skyscraper pioneer and an essential chapter in American engineering. The planners chose the colonial aesthetic anyway. In 1957, demolition crews completely dismantled the building's historic bricks and scrapped its pioneering iron frame. The Jayne Building survived a century of global wars and rapid technological upheaval, only to be intentionally destroyed by the very people tasked with historical preservation. Today, there is an empty void in the historic zone where the skyscraper once stood. Visitors walk past a sterile patch of brick and grass without realizing what was sacrificed to make it. History disappears for many reasons, but often it vanishes because of our own selective biases. We lose the past when we curate it to match a specific, tidy story we want to tell. True historic preservation means protecting the structures that birthed the future, not just the ones that reflect an idealized, neatly packaged version of the distant past. Look at any glass tower or steel giant rising across America today. Almost every massive skyline in the entire country owes its existence to the technology tested in that missing building. You can bulldoze a physical building to create a quiet, manicured lawn,